All right, let's welcome in our guest, one of my favorite people that I've come across in the NBA. Known this guy a long time, JJ Barea. JJ, what's up, man?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. It's a blast, man. I'm a fan of yours too, but I think I'm the best JJ. I don't know. You could shoot a little bit better than me, but it's all good.
Your JJ actually makes sense. Mine does not make sense. Yours actually stands for something.
Yeah.
Wait, so walk me through the last few weeks for you, because you signed a contract with Dallas, and then like 9 days later they released you. And did you know that was going to happen, or was that just just kind of got caught up in the numbers game?
Numbers game, and it was like 50-50. They told me it was a possibility that could happen, and I told them, hey, whatever you guys decide is it's your decision. Just let me know. But it worked out. The numbers didn't work. We had to cut somebody. They wanted to go super young. It wasn't easy for them. It wasn't easy for myself. But I packed up and I came to Puerto Rico for Christmas, so that was a good thing. I haven't been in Puerto Rico for Christmas in like 20 years, so I'm enjoying it.
That's great. And so when this first happened, my initial instinct was that this was sort of pre-planned. You were going to sign like a thank you contract and retire. But I read the other day you have no sort of qualms to retire right now, and you want to keep playing.
Yeah, no question. I wanted. They knew I wanted to play, and every time I went in the court last year, I played good. I feel good. I feel even better now than I felt last year after coming back from the Achilles surgery. So yeah, I still want to play, even if it's not in the NBA, or I still want to play overseas or in the NBA. I'm still going to play with the national team, and then in the summer I'll probably play in the Puerto Rico Pro League with my boys and just have some fun. But yeah, I'm still going to play a couple more years.
You're sick. You know that, right?
Yeah. But it's more fun now. It's more fun in games now than before. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to play good. I'm trying to do it all. And now I'm just enjoying the ride. Enjoying the family, enjoying my boys, everything.
What city are you in?
I'm in right now I'm in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
How is it? How is everything with everything going on?
They're doing a good job. A lot of rules though. We got 9 o'clock lockdown. But people are really being safe. The hospitals in Puerto Rico are not as good as the hospitals in the U.S. So we got to be even safer. But man, all I want to do is go to the beach and play some golf and work out in the beach in the mornings. So I could do that here easy,
Why would you want to give that up to play basketball?
If I get a call, I could get paid double, so I might go get paid and play a little ball again, and then after the season I'll come back. So I'm staying ready, if somebody calls me, I'll go and play.
You and I are the same age. We both left college in 2006. First time I met JJ was in Greece at the 2003 U19 FIBA World Championships. You were the second leading scorer. You led the tournament in assists. I think you averaged like 27 and 6. And I was like, who is this tiny guy?
I remember.
Who's? Yeah. But I was like, that guy's an NBA player. I don't even know if you were on the NBA radar prior to that tournament. But I was like, that guy's an NBA player. He's 5'9" or whatever. You're not your listed height, by the way.
Yeah.
Not your listed height. What do you remember about that tournament?
I remember hanging out. I remember hanging out with you. I remember meeting you. I remember playing the best basketball I ever played in my life. And then I remember that was the first couple tournaments that I noticed that maybe I have a chance in the NBA, because when I played against you guys, I did really good. I played against other guys that were for sure going to the NBA. So that's when I really started thinking I had a chance to make it to the next level. But I remember it was a personal. I had a lot of fun with my teammates from Puerto Rico, and then I got to meet you guys, and I got to play really good basketball. I got the point guard of the tournament, so that really helped me for the NBA.
Did you? You probably don't remember this, but I hurt my hamstring in the warm-up tournament in Dallas prior to us leaving for Greece. And looking back, they shouldn't have taken me on the trip. I mean, it was a serious hamstring injury. Like my shit popped.
Yeah.
But they took me on the trip. And so I'm 18. No, I've just turned 19 years old. My first time in Europe, and I've got really no responsibility other than coming to practice and going to rehab. You know, the rehab and treatment in the morning. So I was like on vacation. I was on vacation.
Back then, rehab and treatment weren't that much either.
Ice and stem.
Yeah.
It was ice and stem.
Yeah.
I treated that 2 weeks, and I look back and I've apologized to Sean Ford, the director of USA Basketball, many times, but I don't know how they ever invited me back to any USA Basketball things after those 2 weeks.
I think we had some beers and everything, right? I don't know.
No, we definitely did. I don't know if you were you with us the last night before everybody headed back?
Yeah. We had some fun. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I remember. I think it was Big Baby Davis or. We had some fun. Yeah.
He was. We had D Brown was on that team.
Yeah, D
Paul
Brown.
Davis. We had a good time. When you got back from that trip, though, did you ever think about leaving Northeastern? Because I mean, I assume after that trip, your name's out there. You had an opportunity to transfer, I assume.
A bunch of schools wanted me to transfer, but we heard the names. They started calling my high school coach, but then I was like, you know what? Northeastern gave me the ball from freshman year. They were my only scholarship, and I was like, I can't let them go. I can't let them down. I can't let my coach down. So me and my dad, we decided, we ain't going nowhere. We decided to stay, and I'm glad I stayed because it worked out for the best.
Are you the only Northeastern player to make it to the league, or is there anyone else?
Before me, it was Ray Lewis.
Oh,
Ray Lewis from the Celtics. He made it before me, and that's it. I think that's it. Yeah.
We oftentimes like to put things in perspective on this podcast with our guests, and so you came over from Puerto Rico to Miami, and you went your
1 year.
year.
One
year.
Yeah, my senior. Yeah.
Then you got one scholarship.
Yeah.
And then you went undrafted.
Yep.
And then I'm not saying you're finished, but you've had a 14-year NBA career.
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah, you could say I'm good. Yeah. Like people, like my boys, people around, like here when I go, like people come, like, everybody's like saying congrats. I don't know how you did it. 14 years later, you're still playing, and you think about it, and people were like, "Are you okay?" They're texting me when Dallas cut me, and they were like, "Are you okay, man? I'm sorry." I'm like, "Yo, I'm happy as I ever could, man. I'm in overtime right now. Like everything is good. They gave me a contract. I still, and if I want to play basketball, it's on my terms. So yeah, I'm enjoying it."
I played like 12 holes of golf earlier today, and by the way, that's all I want to do every day. I just want to play golf. Don't get the opportunity to do that right now. But the guy I was playing with these two local guys, and they were just asking me stuff about the NBA, and I just like sometimes in the moment you don't quite appreciate it, but. Dude, we're like 36 and we're still playing basketball.
That's
what are we doing? I said to the guys today, like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
And we're playing against kids. The NBA is like young and super young, and it's so much different than when we started. Like every day, I wake up being grateful for the opportunity and to have fun, and I would never expect it. To be playing basketball at 36, especially in the best league in the world,
Jay, what was the period when you got into the league where you first were like, okay, I can hang here? Like this is for me.
So my first 2 years, my coach was Avery Johnson, and he was he was cussing me out every day, every practice for 2 years, like making me extra running, extra shooting. He made me better. He wasn't playing me, but he made me better. My third year in the NBA, they fired Avery. Rick Carlisle came in, and the first couple games he wasn't playing me at all either. So I went into his office and I was like, Coach, I think you should play me. I think you should try me out, and if it don't work out, you sit me back on the bench. And he was like, all right, good. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in. And he did it. Next game, at the end of the first quarter, he threw me in, and I think I had 8 points at half and like 4 assists. And from that day on, I made a rotation. So after, I'm guessing in the midway of year 3 or at the end of year 3, that's when I noticed that I could fit in and I could play here for a couple of years.
What I asked you about just that fit in Dallas, and I know after you guys won the championship, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but I know after you won the championship, you went to Minnesota for a few years and you ended up back in Dallas and you started killing again. There was just something about playing for Rick and playing with Dirk that was just such a perfect fit for you.
Oh, no question, man. First of all, Rick's offensive system is made for, I don't know, it's perfect for me. I didn't have to think about anything. It came natural. He just wanted me to grab the ball and be aggressive and push the ball. And then he put me in great situations. I came in the game every night with 3 or 4 minutes left in the first quarter, and I come in with Dirk at the same time. And with Dirk, you know how it is. He wants everybody around him to be better. He was my favorite teammate of all time. And that pick and roll with him gave me so much confidence in my game and everything that I was like, well, if I could do this with Dirk forever, and it happened. It just clicked, it was, and every year we got better. And I knew I had a role, it's pick and roll with Dirk and go from there. And coach gave me ultimate confidence, ultimate green light, and it worked out.
I've had to guard that pick and roll a little bit, guarding you on the ball, yeah. and I just want to point something out, and it's awful. It's awful. And I want to point something out though. Dirk, not in the traditional sense, but Dirk set illegal screens nearly every time.
Every time.
So he wouldn't really hit your body. What he'd do is he'd run up to the screen and then nudge you or shove you in the back because he's Dirk, you can't be in a drop. So you have to be in a show. So now I'm off balance. Yeah. You're fast as shit, turning the corner against who's ever showing, and it just created this thing where you're either getting downhill or we're scrambling to you and you're throwing back to Dirk. It was impossible. But I just wanted to point out that Dirk set illegal picks.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, all I do is run ball screens, and the best screener. First of all, you can't help off Dirk, because if you help off Dirk, I'm throwing it back to him for an open shot. So second of all, he was always moving. He was great and with the angles. And like you said, the guys that were guarding me, they were like always a bunch of times, JJ, slow down, pass the ball. Because all I did was pick and roll after, and if it didn't work out, I did it again and I did it again. So guys hated it. I could see it in their eyes, how much they hated it guarding that many pick and rolls.
You said that you guys got better as your careers went on in terms of that two-man game. What were just some of the nuances from, say, year 1 to year 8, whatever that y'all ran this action together, that you really grew? Well,
Dirk is one guy. He looks quiet and all that, but he'll let you know if you don't pass him the ball at the right time where he wants it. He'll let you know. So yeah, we had our fights, we had our arguments. We used to walk from the court to the locker room arguing. Then his post-up game by the free throw line got better. His three-point shot got better. Just like mine, my three-point shot, when they go under, my three-point shot got better, so they had to go over. So that made it a lot easier. So every year it got a little bit better. So by the time we got to year 5 to the finals, it was clicking.
Tommy wants to ask about your prodigal ambidextrous ball handling.
Yeah,
as a kid.
I was reading. Tell us if this is true. I was reading an article that when you were 2 years old, you were ambidextrous, able to dribble. Is this accurate?
So I got 2 older brothers. When I was in diapers, they were already playing basketball. So that's when my dad and my mom started noticing, like, this kid has something special. I was like, when I was 5, I was in my first organized basketball team, and I was always bringing the ball down, both hands, laying it up with the left, laying it up with the right. At halftime games and pro leagues, I used to stand in the middle of the court just dribbling for the fans to see. So I never practiced it. I never practiced it in my life. I just had it. Like, I see NBA guys practicing their dribbling and stuff, and I'd be like, yo, if you didn't have it when you were a kid, you're not going to get any better. So just shoot and pass the ball. But yeah, I had it growing up.
I could relate to that in the sense of golf, and I know you can too. Because if there's like this window of time, where if you play as a kid, you have it for life. Like, you have a swing for life, and then if you pick it up in your 20s, like I did, no matter how many lessons I take, I just can't get there.
28 when I was 28 or 30, and I'm getting better, but never like tennis. I played tennis when I was growing up, like basketball. So tennis is like the easiest sport in the world. Basketball, but golf is impossible.
JJ, do you think that about shooting?
No,
the same way.
No.
So what? So for the fan, what makes the two of them different?
Practice shooting. I was always a scorer. Like, I could score the ball, but I knew my shot had to get better if I wanted to make it and play a lot of years in the NBA. So you could practice. You could tweak a couple things. When you get to the NBA, you got so many coaches, so many people passing you the ball. You could practice extra time. And for some reason, when you get to the NBA, your jump shot just gets better. I don't know. Yeah, well, you could definitely get better. Yeah.
I think the mechanics, you can change mechanics on your shot. Yeah. Move your thumb, or how where your left hand is placed, or your follow through, your elbow, whatever. You can change all these mechanics. With ball handling, I said this to Kyrie one time. I could do all the ball handling drills in the fucking world for like a year. I could never get to his level. Jamal Crawford was the same way as you. Jamal used to say, he's never done a ball handling drill.
Yeah, never. And I seen guys like ex teammates work on their dribbling all summer long, like crazy drills, and then they get to the games, and then they want to go off a pick and roll and throw it between their legs, and I'm like, no, buddy, no. And I'm like, that's not gonna. They kick it off their leg. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. It's just, I think it is. Yeah, either you have it or you don't, and if you don't have it, you could get better, like maybe like simple dribbling, but nothing crazy.
Here's another. Just, this is a theory I have. I don't know that there's ever been any studies on this, but I do think body composition matters. So, for example, like you're low to the ground, right? You're a tiny player, JJ. You're a tiny player relative to NBA guys. So I think that helps. I think someone like Kawhi, who probably wasn't a great ball handler, has a tight handle now because he's got long arms and big hands.
Big hands.
And for me, who has small hands and short arms, there's only so much that I can do with the ball.
Yeah. And like for me to be good at my job, I need to dribble good to play good basketball. Like you, in another sense, you don't really have to. You know what I'm saying? There's people so it's not for everybody, I think. One thing I remember doing when I was growing up that I tell kids, I used to dribble a lot with tennis balls.
Interesting.
I used to dribble a lot with tennis ball, any type of a small ball, bouncy balls or anything. So then when you grab a basketball ball, it's super easy. So I think that's a good drill for the kids to do. And it's randomly. I was always in tennis courts because my mom was a tennis coach growing up. So we found ways to play basketball in the tennis courts. So we used to play basketball with tennis balls.
When you were growing up, did you tell people that you were going to play in the NBA?
No, never. Like I said, I told you, I started noticing that I had a chance for the NBA like late in my college career. Yeah, I just played it because I was good at it. It was a blast traveling. We used to travel a lot from Puerto Rico to the States with my Puerto Rico teams. So that was so much fun. So that's why I played it my whole life.
How's your tennis game?
My tennis game is pretty good. I played tennis till I was like 14, 15.
Yeah.
I was ranked number 1 in Puerto Rico in my age. But then it got a little boring. Because I had to travel by myself for tournaments, and it was a little boring. And I like team sports, so I quit. I quit tennis.
I did not know that about you.
That's an interesting what if you had stuck with it, because it feels like with your skill set, it could have been a totally different JJ.
Like right now, like I got like my boys be like, yo, this guy said he could beat you in tennis. And I'm like, is he a pro? No, he just plays in this league. And I'm like, yo, bet all the money you want. Let's set it up. and we bet it. Yeah. And I'm like, that guy is not going to beat me in tennis. Yeah.
Oh, you're that nice. Yeah. You're that nice. So basically, unless you're a pro, you're not beating you in tennis.
Like, yeah, you got to play tennis your whole life and like probably like play college tennis and stuff like that for you. Yeah. If not, yeah.
Hey guys, I'd like to tell you about HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. HelloFresh lets you skip those trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
HelloFresh offers 23+ recipes each week, featuring a range of flavors, cuisines, and ingredients, so you'll never get bored. And no matter what you choose, every single recipe is packed with fresh produce sourced directly from farmers. And by choosing HelloFresh, it also helps cut down on grocery bills and food waste.
Yeah, it's really cool, Tommy. HelloFresh Easy Eats offering has tons of quick and easy meal solutions like oven-ready and 10 to 20-minute meals, perfect for your busy schedule. Chelsea and I have used it, and it makes things so easy. So go to HelloFresh.com/10JJ and use code 10JJ. That's 10JJ for 10 free meals, including free shipping. Once again, that's HelloFresh.com/10JJ and use code 10JJ for 10 free meals. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Let's talk about 2011 when you guys won. And it's the first year of the Big Three in Miami. You guys were underdogs. You, in particular, had a great I think it was the Western Conference Finals in the pick and roll. And then and you guys went to this zone. And then in the finals against Miami, you were really dynamic. You're shooting off the bench with like Peja, and Deshaun Stevenson was amazing. At what point in that run did you, because I kind of, looking back at 2009, like there's a point in the run where you're like, oh, we're going to make the finals. And then it's like, oh, we actually have a chance to win.
Yeah, for sure. We played Portland. The first series, it was against Portland. They were a great team. And it was so hard. It was hard for me. You know, they were like a physical teams, really big. And I was getting to my spots, but I couldn't score. I had a couple of turnovers, but we managed to win the series. I don't know how we won 4-2. And then we get to the Lakers, and I was like, and then we started playing the pick and rolls against the Lakers, and I was like, oh my God, compared to Portland, this is like heaven for me. So I was putting Bynum and Gasol in every single pick and roll, the whole game, and I was scoring, I was passing. It was like it was awesome. Then my confidence just went crazy there, and that was for the team wise. That was the team that we couldn't beat. We couldn't beat the Lakers. We couldn't beat Kobe, Bynum, Gasol, Odom. We couldn't beat them the whole year. We couldn't beat them the year before. So when we swept them, that's when we noticed, like, okay, we're going to win it all right now. And we knew we had the best player in the league that year on Dirk. Dirk was the best player in the league for sure that year. And then we had OKC. We knew they were the most talented team, but they were young. And that's another one. My pick and roll against OKC was amazing that year. And then we made it to the finals, but I knew we were underdogs, but team-wise, we felt like we were the best team, team-wise. We felt like that was our opportunity. we're not going to have this opportunity again. We were old. The team was old. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh were going to be together the next year. So we were like, this is our year. And I think we looked at it that way, and it worked out.
Who did Bynum deck at the end of that series?
That was me.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the craziest foul I ever got in my life. I seen that a million times, but that was scary. I'm glad nothing happened. Bynum, you know what? Bynum called me the day after.
Oh, he did.
He called me. He left I didn't pick up because I didn't know what number it was. But he left like a minute 30 message. You know, he apologized. He was like, JJ, I hope you're doing good. I took out my frustrations on you. Nothing against you. I'm sorry. I hope you're not hurt. And good luck the rest of the season. So that was pretty cool.
That's good on him. I feel like you have had your fair share of run-ins. We're going to get back to 2011 in a second. I want to talk about the Miami Heat in a second, but I feel like you've had your fair share of run-ins.
Yeah. I had a couple.
In fact, when I look back at 2003 in Greece, I remember thinking to myself, that guy's really scrappy. I don't know what other word to describe you. Like you got into it with Blake. I mean, you're always. It seems like you're always picking on guys that are twice your size too.
Yeah, it's something, you know, when I'm on the floor and competing, I'm competing, you know, and after the game's over, I don't hold no grudges against nobody. I remember with Blake, me and Blake, I party with, you know, in the summer with Blake or hang out with Blake and we laugh at it. But then during the game, he was pushing me in the ball screen. I was like, get off me. And then he dove backwards. And then so everybody was like, why is he? Yeah. I had one against Westbrook in the playoffs. Westbrook used to try to post me up all the time. So I used to grab his jersey. I used to hit him. And then when he pushes me, I flop backwards. So he hated that. And then we got into it. John Wall said some crazy shit to me one time. And I was like, Jesus, this guy's crazy.
Did he call you a midget?
He called me a midget. Yeah. And that came out of nowhere because I never had a problem with him. Me and Ray Allen had one of the funniest ones ever. I started calling him a pussy after I got kicked out of the game for shoving him, and then I started calling him a pussy the whole way out. So next time I saw Ray, I was like, "Oh, Ray, that was bad, man. That was bad for both of us." But yeah, I had a couple. Yeah. I got kicked out of a basketball game for pushing Blake Griffin. I got kicked out of a game for pushing a Ray Allen. I got a double tech with Westbrook like 5 times.
You have your foes. He has his foes.
Yeah, not bad.
I saw you got kicked out. Was this last year? You got kicked out from the bench? Were you
Oh yeah, that was what's the ref name? Foster. That was Foster.
Oh, Scott Foster.
Scott. Yeah, I got a tech during the game, and then I was at the end of the bench talking stuff, and he kicked me out. Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah.
Do you feel like you're one of the reasons they put in the flopping rule? Would you just admit to me, by the way, that you flopped a fair amount as a player?
This is my trick. I got a trick that the ref started picking it up. Yeah, because in my size, my defense, if I want to be good, I gotta have my tricks. You know, I grab people's arm, like when they're dribbling and trying to go by me, I grab their arm like this, and I put it against my chest. And when they extend, I go backwards, and it's an offensive foul every single time. But yeah, I flopped. But I think it's 50-50, you know, nothing. But yeah, my fair amount. And I think when they put the flopping rule, yeah, I was one of the guys that they put it. You know, I think it was a total of it was like 5 or 10 guys that used to flop a lot, and I was one of them. But I don't. You know, it's not like I'm sad about it or something. You know. Yeah.
Did you ever get fined from flopping? Did you ever get fined?
So we got fined, but they never took money out because the Players Association never accepted the rule.
Oh, that's right.
I think it's something like that. Yeah.
I got warned twice. I got 2 warnings in 2 different seasons. I would say we all, to a degree, I don't want to call it flopping, but we all, to a degree, accentuate contact. Defensive players do that. Offensive players do that. You're bringing attention to what you deem to be a foul.
Yeah.
That's basically what it comes down to.
And then there's a trick to it too. You gotta, like, when I was getting pushed, I'm sure I'm making eye contact with the ref at the same time. So he knows.
This guy's this guy's diabolical with his drawing fouls. He's
it's
diabolical.
Such a skill. It's such a skill.
He's looking at the ref in the eyes while he's doing it.
Yo, and you know how many times I'm guarding in the post, and guys, it helped me because guys don't want to post me up because they know I'm gonna take a charge. So that helped me too, my defense. You know, because I'm small, they're gonna post me up, and the whole team, the whole opposite team is screaming, "He's gonna flop! He's gonna flop!" The whole game. Yeah.
I feel like it's part of the performance, though. I really.
It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
We're on stage. We're performing.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. There's no way they're going to ever be able to completely eliminate the flop. And look, like you see this with Harden. Even last night, like Goran Dragic, like the way he's able to come around a ball screen, and the second there's contact, he just jumps up and shoots, right?
Yeah.
So, like, there's just no way around it. Like, guys are too smart and too skilled, I think. All right. Dirk in the finals in 2011. I always thought that he was a mother. I would call him a motherfucker, right? I always thought he kind of shed that soft European thing. He was tough as shit. Uber competitive. But there was something about that series where you saw him like at another level. And I don't even necessarily mean like point total wise, but it was just like the toughness, the bucket getting. You had been his teammate for I think 5 years at that point. What was it like in watching him as a teammate in that series?
He was not gonna let us lose. The way he prepared the whole year for it. He hated Miami. He hated LeBron, Wade, Bosh. He's never going to say that, but he couldn't stand it. He got ready for it, man. And in that year, like, even he don't talk much. Dirk, if you know him, like he leads by example. He don't lead by talking. But that year in timeouts, that year before the games, at halftime, he will talk, and he will talk like loud, and he'll point fingers, and he was on one. He was special. He had a different mindset that year. He was tougher. He was driving the ball more for some reason. He was either pump faking and driving left. But when LeBron and Wade started making fun of him by cuffing when he got a little sick. I don't know if you remember that clip.
Oh, I forgot that happened. Yeah, I remember it now.
That clip really hurt him. That he will never say it, but he really saw the tape, and that tape really hurt him, and that gave him a little bit extra that he didn't need, but it gave him a little extra to finish him off.
That team was so interesting, by the way. Like with J Kidd, and Sean Marion, Tyson in his prime. It was a perfect group of guys.
Oh, it was perfect. You know how hard it is to win a championship, and how special you got to be. Everybody's got to be clicking at the right time. Deshaun Stevenson was crazy, but one of the best teammates ever, and he played awesome. J Kidd was at the end, but he was the guy that we needed to, he was shooting the three good. He was playing good defense, and then Jason Terry couldn't miss. Jason Terry he had 23, I think, at a half in Game 6. Dirk struggled the first half in Game 6, and Jet had 23 at half. So it was, and Tyson was a beast. If you remember Tyson was a beast in the defense.
Do you think even after the Lakers series that year that the Heat underestimated you? Like they just were not expecting you to do what you did?
I think so. Yeah, I for sure think so. I think they because they started. Mike Bibby started guarding me, and Mark Bibby was done. He was old. He was slow by then. And then they put Chalmers on me. So then they started trying stuff. But at the beginning, they definitely weren't ready to guard the pick and roll.
When when that offseason, I guess it was like 2 weeks later, because you guys, you play in the finals. It goes till the end of June. Were you expecting to come back, or did you get the sense that Mark wasn't necessarily going to break the bank for an older group of guys?
Man, I was a free agent, and I'm excited. I'm getting paid. And so I'm definitely thinking we're coming back. It's just me and Tyson. Me and Tyson were the free agents. That was it. So I'm coming back. I'm excited. I'm partying in Dallas. I'm partying in Puerto Rico. I'm breaking all the rules. Everything. And then I flew to Dallas, and this is when the lockout year.
Oh, that's right. It was the lockout year. You're right. So it was 6 months after the finals.
The lockout kind of messed with Mark Cuban's head a little bit. And I go to Dallas, to talk to Mark to see what. And then he goes, JJ, and he was honest. He was like, I'm not going to sign nobody for more than 1 year. I know you deserve better, but the lockout is going to change the rules. It's going to change this. It's going to change that. I know you're going to have to go somewhere else. So hopefully you could come back. And that was it, man. Tyson went to Phoenix. I went to Minnesota. I had to. And that was it. And that was the end of Dallas.
I like that you said that you had to. I think this is an important point to make when we talk about athletes making decisions in free agency, because oftentimes we don't, if you're a max guy, you can generally choose exactly where you want to go for the exact amount. But for guys like us, we're weighing like 5 or 6 different things in any free agency decision we make. And sometimes the choice is made for us. And it's not like you were going to turn down that 4-year contract from Minnesota. No. So that loyalty thing that people talk about, it's most definitely a two-way street. And honestly, at least from my perspective, I'm sure you feel the same way about what Mark did. All you really want is transparency from your incumbent team.
Yeah, for sure. He was honest. He told me, you need to go somewhere else, and hopefully we could bring you back someday. And for me, I played 5 years in the NBA. I barely made, $5 million in 5 years or $6 million in 5 years. So I played my best basketball ever. I fight my whole way to make it to the NBA. I'm 5'10". I never know when I'm going to get this opportunity again. I was like, I got to go take it. I got to go take 4 years. And then that's what we decided to do. And then we decided take the 4 years and we'll try to come back later on. And that's what happened.
Can you just talk about Mark a little bit as an owner, though? Because we had him on the podcast earlier this year. He, by and large, has a tremendous reputation amongst NBA players as a very player-friendly owner. And I know, and you can bring this up, but I know he's done some things for you and for Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. But can you just talk about that relationship and just what makes Mark so special as an owner?
First of all, Mark loves the NBA. His baby is the Dallas Mavericks. He'll die for any player. He'll do anything he can to make the Mavericks better. That's his passion. That's his baby. But I see Mark as my teammate. Like, I saw Mark as we partied, we battled, we had our up and downs basketball wise. I could text him, call him for anything. We talked about everything. He's one of the smartest guys I know. Always thinking about how to make people better, how to make the business better. But yeah, he's passionate. He loves the game, but he wants the players to treat him as a teammate. I treated him as he was my teammate. I didn't hide anything from him. I invited him to parties. We talked ball, we talked players, we talked everything, and it was super simple, man. Simple guy, just wants the best for his team.
JJ, what was your first impression of Luca?
When I saw Luca for the first time, he came to play pickup. We signed him, and then it was like 2 weeks before the season, and he came to play pickup with us. And I was like, this guy is huge. I say huge. I was like, this guy is huge. And I had to guard him playing pickup. And I was like, there's no way he's going by me. There's no way he's going by me. But for some reason, it's so long, so heavy, so strong that he was laying me up, like lay up here, lay up here. He was playing with us, passes behind the back, and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, it was. I knew the first day I saw him play pickup with us, he was treating us like he was playing with his boys in a pickup game. I was like, this kid got it. And then when I realized he practice, he was okay. Pickup games, he was okay. But when the lights were on and the TVs were on, he turned the lever up, and that's when I saw he was for real.
We talked about this in China a couple of seasons ago. I think Luca had just been drafted. It was his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
When we were in China.
Yeah.
So you'd only seen him play, with the Mavs for a couple weeks. And I remember you saying to me, like, if this guy takes the game seriously, not in like a negative way, if he takes the game seriously, he's going to be incredible. He's just that good. What did you sort of mean by that?
Well, he's still a kid, Jay. He's still chilling. I think he's still chilling. He's still growing. He still hasn't, in a good way, he still hasn't taken the next step, if you know what I mean. He's going to learn when he starts really training and really working and really like getting ready for the NBA. He's going to be a monster. Right now, he's still, he's a kid. He still thinks he could pull it off like this, and he's still getting better every year. But I think he's still a kid. When he becomes 24, 25, but he becomes a man, he's going to be a problem, a real problem. He loves the game. He loves his teammates. So he loves to compete against the best. He wants to compete against the best. So he's got all the things I think you need to be really great at basketball.
To a degree, we all are guilty of what you're talking about when we're in our early 20s. We think we can just get away with more. We can put whatever we want in our body and then go hoop the next day. It's not an issue, whatever. We can miss a few days of training. Like you probably weren't. I wasn't as diligent as I am now at 23. By 26, I was for sure, but not at 23.
Later. No, yeah. When the NBA season ended and I was 22 years old or 23 years old, I took the first plane out of Dallas to Puerto Rico, and I partied nonstop the whole summer. And then then I played with the national team. That helped me get ready. And then I partied again. And then I played pickup with my boys, stuff like that. And then I went to training camp, and I was in the best shape of my life. I was the fastest in training camp. I was a better player than the year before. So I was like, but yeah, if I do that now, like if I do that when I was 28, 29, 30, I would have never lasted that long. So I had to really focus later on. But yeah, in my early 20s, no way.
TJ McConnell told me a great story.
Yeah.
He said, so he didn't know this either, that like after your rookie season, you have to go train. So he like went back home to Pittsburgh and he just drank beer. And then he came back and Brian Colangelo called him in his office, was like, you look like a fucking linebacker. You need to lose some weight. Like,
yeah.
What I always, and I'm sure you were this way too as you got older in your career, but like part of being an older player and being a mentor is helping guys find their routine. For everybody, it's different. Exactly. But you have to have your sort of in-season routine. You have to have your out of season routine, your training program, your schedule. Or do you have a body trainer? Do you have a basketball trainer? Do you have both? When are you getting massages? How much are you sleeping? Where are you training? I've helped a ton of guys with this, and I've talked through this. I didn't have that. I kind of had to figure that out on my own at 22, 23. But I think that's an important step for every NBA player.
Oh, no question. For me, I used to come here. I try to not play basketball for a while, but I stayed busy. I played tennis. I played beach volleyball. I go to the gym. I really, even if I was partying, I try to go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week to do weights. But yeah, I did stuff to stay ready, but not playing basketball, if you know what I mean. And then Dirk, I used to watch Dirk. Like, I was like, yo, if I do 25% of what he does, I'm good. I was like, if I shoot 25% of what he shoots, I'm gonna be straight.
He was really that maniacal about his preparation.
The craziest preparation ever, man. It was insane. We used to have meetings with him the night before games to like, yo, Dirk, you can't go to the gym tonight. You can't go. He's like, no, I gotta go get my routine. I'm like, no, we need you fresh for tomorrow. You can't go tonight. And it was always like that argument. We always had fights with him about it.
He sounds like Kobe in a way.
It was similar to Kobe. Him and Kobe used to talk a lot. They were fans of each other. They talk about workouts. They did and that. So yeah, I heard a bunch of stories about Kobe being like Dirk and Dirk being like Kobe.
Hey, while there's a lot about the holidays that feels different this year, I know one thing that might make them just a little bit brighter. Wonder Woman 1984 just came out on December 25th, and now you have 2 ways to experience the epic adventure, in theaters and streaming exclusively on HBO Max. Believe in wonder again with Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig, and Pedro Pascal. Wonder Woman 1984 is rated PG-13 and sure to be a wonderful way to celebrate the holiday season with the ones you love. Around the bend, across the pond, off the beaten path, there's a lot of ways to say you're going places, but only one SUV that helps you get there as a family, the new redesigned Hyundai Santa Fe, the SUV made for getting out there and doing more together.
So take the scenic route because the Santa Fe is equipped with available 8-track all-wheel drive to help you get off the paved road a little further together. And it has a suite of intuitive safety features for taking it around the bend with more peace of mind.
Plus, you'll stay comfortable wherever you're headed with the Santa Fe's available premium Napa leather seating, generous room for 5, and sophisticated interior styling. Get out there and find new adventures together in the new Hyundai Santa Fe. Learn more about the Santa Fe by going to HyundaiUSA.com. JJ, before we let you go, I want to go back to this Cuban thing and partying with Cuban. Because Tommy, I don't know how I feel about this. I am uber paranoid that anything an owner knows or that a front office knows will be used against me at some point. I just think, but so how do players get to a point where they're comfortable enough with Mark to be like, hey, Mark, we're going out tonight. Hey, do you want to come party with us?
So that changed a lot. So it was even crazier with Steve Nash and Dirk. It was even crazier back then. When I got there, it was slowing down, but it was still going. So me and Mark were able to still party, play basketball, this and that, but it was really slowing down. And now it's done. Now it's completely done, unless it's me, Dirk, vets, that were back in the day with him. So yeah, young guys, they're never gonna have that relationship with Mark like that. Even though Mark is always around, he's always telling them whatever you need, text me or call me, and he absolutely, he's right. If a player texts Mark or calls him, Mark will answer and help him with whatever he needs. Party wise, it's a little different. Well, Luca's 21st year old party last season in Miami was special, Jay. And it was in Miami, and Cuban set it up. Cuban was there, and it was special.
Where did y'all go?
We went from the game. The bus went straight to Live, and we had it all set up for Luca. We had Luca loves Puerto Rican rap, so we had Bad Bunny, we had Anuel. We had all them came to the party, so it was a special night.
Do you have a favorite party story from post finals? Because that's pretty legendary. The whole thing is pretty legendary.
Man, Dirk.
Mark's Amex got declined. That's at Live, right? That's where it was.
Yeah, but it was insane. It was like $100,000 or something, and he was like, "Yeah, take my card." And I was like, "Yo, that's not gonna work like that." He was the bottles of champagne were my size. They were up here. Dirk lost it. Dirk was so aggressive partying. Dirk is one of those guys, when he drinks, he gets aggressive and starts punching you and slapping you in the face. Deshaun Stevenson was lost walking around Dallas. He couldn't get home, so he got stopped by the cops because he couldn't get home. So we got on the plane, a couple weeks later, we got on the plane and we got on the team plane, and Mark took us. Where he took us? I think he took us to Vegas on the team plane. So that was a cool little trip. So no, we had a good times. Definitely a good times.
I need this action. I got to win one, JJ.
It was special, man. It was special.
I love it.
Yeah.
Buddy, good to catch up. I hope you are back on the court soon.
Hey, I appreciate it. Stay safe.
See you.